Hi lovelies, it's me, Chrissy. I'm back, finally. I promised you a video quite a few times, and this is it. It's going to be about quite a touchy subject. Not touchy, but like, don't go there. And it's basically about, it's 10 things never to say to a trans person. Many trans people, like me, will take opportunities to speak about being trans openly and sometimes in public forum, and in that sort of situation, unless we specifically say a topic's off limits and we expect all questions to come out. You know, the old cliche goes, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There are many times where there is. When we speak, we make a conscious decision to answer questions and answer questions and comments, and we put ourselves out there, but trans people who are just going about their daily lives don't. They're just normal people who want to be left alone. So when you meet a trans person, don't automatically start blurting out questions unless they tell you it's okay to do so. So yeah, I present this, a few things never to say to a trans person. All of these things have been said to me at some point in time, and it is hurt. It's like, it's degrading. So try not to. If you're cis, I'll tell you what cis is as well if you want. I promise. Bye. If someone asks you this in a social setting, genuinely you catch the trans person off guard and they're never gonna like you. Number 1. This is the big one, guys. This is the one that you should never ask anyone, trans or not. You should never ask anyone about their genitals. But anyway, this is the one you get asked the most, needless to say. Have you had the operation? Equally offensive. Have you had the surgery? Or are you pre-op, post-op? Or, simply, the most offensive, are you done yet? Yeah, there's no one operation. Trans people have many operations, or they might have none of them. We know what you're talking about, but we like to pretend that we don't. It's pretty much just to annoy you. Like everyone, we consider our private parts private. So try not to, blurt out what is actually a very private part of someone's body. It's genitalia. Anyway, to elaborate, transition isn't all about downstairs. In fact, most of the time, the social aspect of transition is the most important part, and it's far more complicated, compelling, and complex. To ask someone about their surgery, about their downstairs areas, to disregard every other aspect of that person's personality, and to pretty much reduce them to a pair of genitals. And feminists, you'll be listening in now, feminists, you know that this is not what we want. We don't want walking penises and vaginas to be wandering the streets. Sorry, intersex people, I'm using the binary. Everyone, I'm using the binary. I'm so sorry. So, to ask someone about their genitals is to disregard every other aspect of their personality, and to show that you don't see them as a human being. You see them as a sideshow act, which isn't good. So, and also, not to mention the fact that you wouldn't ask anyone else you see on the genitals. You wouldn't pop up and go, "You alright, Kev? How's your ass?" And if you're asking to sleep with me, I'd like to see what's underneath your clothes before I make a final decision. Just saying. Number 2. Bathroom talk, guys. So, this is another one you get asked all the time. Which toilet do you use? I wonder. We use the toilet that matches the gender that we present at, where possible. Some states in America are funny about this, so it's where the law allows. We use the toilet that's right for us, if we can. Just like you use the toilet that's right for you. And guess what? We use the toilet for the same reason you do. We use the toilet because we need to relieve ourselves. We're not interested in hearing anything, we're not interested in listening to anything you're doing in there. We don't want to perv on people of the same gender as us. We literally just want to get in, do our business and get out. If you've seen most public toilets, you will understand this, because most public toilets are disgusting. They are disgusting. So we don't want to go in there, hang about, listen to girls chatting or trans men chatting, look at their bits and then lurk around like a creep. We want to go in there, relieve ourselves and get the hell out of Dodge, because public toilets are disgusting. And when I'm at home, I use my toilet. I don't go to someone else's house, I go and use my toilet. It's a very simple question, you don't ask me it. Cool. We good? We good. Whoop. Number 3. This is something I get told quite a bit. If you combed your hair in a certain way, wore your makeup in a certain way, wore different clothes in a certain way, did something, fill in the blank in a certain way, you would appear more feminine. Trans men insert masculine where I say feminine. Right. Thanks for the tip, guys. Cheers for that. But if you want to start criticising me for what I'm doing, because I'm quite comfortable in my own skin, I will, I like the way I dress, I like the way I look. I have dysphoria, which affects a couple of areas, but most of the time I'm quite comfortable in myself. So if you're going to tell me how I'm presenting is a problem, then I'm going to start reeling off things that's wrong with you. So yeah, just fucking leave it. Cheers, bye. Number 4. This is a big one. When did you decide to be transgender? We don't decide to become transgender. We didn't decide to become transgender. We didn't decide or become this way. We were born this way. When did you decide that you were your gender? Did you decide it or did you just know it? That's us. That is as simple as it is. We didn't decide to become transgender. We made a conscious decision to transition. But most trans people will tell you that transition isn't even a choice. It's a medical necessity. And any decision that we made was simply the decision that I want to continue living my life, and it necessitates transition. Most people feel so bad about themselves pre-transition that it's a life or death question. So to say someone decided to become transgender is to disregard all the pain and suffering that led them to that point. Number 5. This is a common one, and it's actually a common misconception. The thing never to say is, you pass really well. This might seem like a compliment, but if you look deeper into it, it's really not. Some people will take this as a compliment, especially in the early stages of transition, but passing implies that a person is not what he or she or they say they are. It implies that they're passing for something else. So, unless you're a driving instructor and you want to tell them that they passed really well, leave it out. Just say, you look really nice today, or your hair looks good, or that colour looks great on you, or whatever else you would say to anyone else to compliment them. But when saying you pass really well, unless they've just got an A on their test, it's hurtful. So leave it out, yeah? Leave it out, yeah? What? Number 6. This has actually been said to me many times. It's when I meet someone online and then come at, see them in real life, or I've known someone in the past and they've met me for the first time as myself. They say something like, I thought you'd be a monster, but you're just like a normal person. Well, I tell you what, honey, catch me during the next full moon. Number 7. This one is very common and it's pretty personal. How do you have sex? Buy me dinner, darling, and I'll show you. Seriously, guys, there's many ways trans people have sex, and we have sex just like everybody else. It's not a weird situation. Genuinely, there's so many ways to have sex, and if you're strictly a tab A into slot B sort of person, then you might be missing out on the greater experience. But yeah, sex isn't all about the missionary position, and there is, although trans people may have sex this way as well, it's, yeah. What else to say is, trans people have sex like everyone else, except me. I have sex in like weird contorted positions. Anyway, oh, just on a side note, equally offensive, how do you go to the bathroom? Guys, there's this thing called the urinary tract. Number 8. I can still see the man in you. Oh shit! Did I forget to zip up my trousers again? Sorry guys. Oh. But seriously, trans people prefer not to be reminded of their previous incarnation, if you will. Like most people who say this generally mean no harm. They're just sentimental about someone they miss. People who have transitioned usually don't share the same sentimentality as the people who those people know. So no matter what you see, it's best to keep it to yourself, because you could end up hurting someone. Number 9. Are you afraid people might hate you or may want to hurt you? I'll let you into a secret. I am terrified all the time, but I try not to think about it because, you know, it's scary. But then people mention it and you're like, oh yeah, it is quite scary being trans. So yeah, try not to say that to trans people because you might scare them. Thanks. And number 10. What does being a woman mean to you? It means not being asked this type of question, because you'd never ask a cis person the same question. And if you would, I don't want to be asked it, because it means being a woman. Like, if you want to go philosophical about it, I could talk all day, but that's not the sort of question I want a stranger in the street to ask me. Excuse me, miss. You seem to be trans. What does being a woman mean to you? It means fucking off. Do one, sunshine. So there you have it, everyone. 10 things never to say to trans people. I should also point out that all of the things said in this video are from my personal experience and my point of view. So if you're a trans person, you go, wow, I don't mind being asked that. It doesn't matter because this is my video and I'm saying it. And if the majority of people say something is too offensive, the easiest way to avoid offending people is to not say it. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I have been Chrissy. You've all been wonderful. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Add me on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, I'll catch you all next week. Bye!